Welcome to Doesn't Matter. I was listening to an excellent podcast, which is well worth listening to, on the Lex Friedman podcast, where he was speaking to Max Tegmark, another scientist and computer scientist, about their concerns with AI. And the biggest concern that Max had was that emerging AGI, sort of moving from GPT 4 to 5 and 6 and so on, would replace a lot of really valuable jobs. Like, it's not just going to replace boring work and scut work, it's going to replace jobs that a lot of people place a lot of value in. And he says that we need to take a break, which I think is a good idea, for a few months, 6 months, worldwide global break, and have a think about how we set this up and what rules we can bring into place for that. So that was a good idea. He also said that we need to protect certain jobs, high value jobs, programmers and such, because AGI will soon be able to do them better than people. Most legal jobs, accounting jobs. It does pretty good art too, but art is so subjective that humans will probably still be able to do quite well in sort of some of the creative pursuits. But where there are harder metrics, no, AI is going to do substantially better than most humans. And he raised the argument that we should be protecting those jobs to some degree and limiting AI. And I thought, yeah, that on the surface of things that sounds good, but what happens if a person can't afford a decent lawyer, has to take a state lawyer, who are generally not at the same quality and level, and they could have used an AI that would have given them top flight, sort of barrister plus service for free, for virtually nothing, and would have meant the difference between them having a custodial sentence or being deemed innocent. A surgeon, a machine that provides surgery that has a 1,000% lower error rate, and can do surgeries that a human surgeon couldn't do, and it could do it very cheaply. It's going to put a lot of those lawyers and doctors out of work, and it sounds good that we should protect those jobs, those high value jobs, except that poor people, average people, most people would, as a result of AGI, have access to world-class surgery and medical assistance almost for very, very low cost. And the same would go for law, financial advice, and so on and so on. So AGI promises to liberate billions of people from their jobs, but it also provides superior services, superior advice and education for a fraction of the cost. So I'm not at all sure that we should be protecting jobs. We should be protecting people. We should be protecting income. So, these AIs are going to increasingly lead the charge in terms of the automation of society. That's inevitable, and perhaps we're going to need some kind of taxation system to offset that if certain companies are making trillions and trillions of dollars, which they will, because of automation and AGI, and that deprives 60, 70, 80% of the population of jobs, then obviously they're going to need income, because economies still require consumers, and consumers without income aren't consumers. So we're going to have to come up with a way of compensating for the fact that certain types of work are lost, or at least become hobbies rather than paid jobs, because the AIs will do them better. It doesn't mean people won't pursue certain things as hobbies, but they'll need income in the meantime. And I don't think that justification of maintaining billions of jobs means that billions more people continue to receive either substandard results, substandard services, or don't get them at all because they can't afford them, which is often the case nowadays. For anyone who's had a public defender um, against a very good prosecutor, or in civil court against a high-paid lawyer from a big firm, yeah, you don't stand much of a chance. It's going to war with an air rifle. It's not gonna work. And medicine is much the same. There are some big differences between the quality of services that you can receive, and money does make a difference. Money makes a difference in a whole range of areas. AGIs will be able to do it cheaper and easier. So I can't agree with Max on the protecting of jobs. I know that he's terrified of what impact it will have on the economy, and I join him in that. But I just think the challenge is to look at all the alternative occupations and activities that human beings can do. I think it's a bit of an industrial mindset, like people without jobs and people without, without a station to work at will run amok or go crazy or get depressed, and certainly some will. But a job isn't the only thing that you can extract meaning from life. It's not the only way to contribute to society. And I think we're about to find that out over the coming decades anyway. I just think we're going to make sure we don't end up with Elysium and people starving and being homeless and such. The profits of automation and AGI need to be redistributed to the people so that they can continue to participate in the market. I mean, the market will die. The free market, the capitalist markets will die without consumers, and consumers need income. So there will have to be some way of redirecting some of that largesse back into the pockets of people so that we can keep that benevolent cycle going of production and consumption. Just a thought on that. So go watch the podcast. It's quite lengthy, but it's a very good podcast with Max Tegmark on the Lex Fridman podcast. Cheers.